Women should be absolutely terrified. I like that terror. Yo, what's good? It's King Kai. I bring to your attention a video that I happened to stumble upon a few days ago because it was quite frustrating. Now, the premise of this is that it is talking about the effect that the Me Too movement has had on men as a whole. Now, the reason why I found this interesting is because the panel started to talk about how this affects younger men in their lives. So let's say teenagers or like young 17, 18-year-old guys. Now, I thought this was a good thing to bring to your attention because some of you guys are that young. Now, the interesting part about this is one of the women on this panel, she has a very extreme mindset when it comes to this Me Too movement. And I wanted to bring to your attention the kind of people that are out there, because some of them can take advantage of you and they can ruin your life if you don't know how to spot them. And this is how you can spot them. So without further ado, let's go and get started with the first part of this video here.
Help us when it comes to boys growing up. And that is one of my worries, that for teenage boys now, they are so terrified of the consequences of putting a foot out of line. It's hard enough being a young teenager, working out how things are, working out how to do dating and all of that, without the terror that if you touch in the wrong place at the wrong time, you may find that your whole life is destroyed.
See, I
and
like
there is
that
far
terror.
too much. Well,
I like that.
As a mother of a teenage boy, I don't like
Really?
that
That's
terror.
the most
I do.
malicious thing I've ever heard.
That is
I
awful.
think that
Now let's stop right there, okay? This, if you guys haven't figured out who it is, this is the woman in question. Her name is Ava, and her stance is that men should be 100% terrified of ever progressing in a physical relationship with a woman. And it's funny because the second that she says that, the man to her left, you immediately see his face change, and he's like, what the hell did I just hear? Now, her stance is that if young men have ever even tried to initiate a physical relationship with a woman, that should be considered assault. Now, how do we create meaningful relationships like that when men are young men are constantly tiptoeing around the fine lines of assault and just pushing the boundaries just a little bit? Okay, I just think it's ridiculous. And imagine something. Okay, she said that men should be terrified. I don't think you shouldn't wish terror on people. Do you know what it feels like to walk and like just be completely terrified? Imagine if I said this: women should be absolutely terrified. I like that terror. If you are going every single day and you're not afraid of stepping out of line, then I'm not happy with that. Imagine if I said those words. The entire world will go up in flames. Everyone would be like, oh my god, you're such a misogynist. But the fact that she said this, no one labels her a misandrist. It's just kind of interesting. Now let's go and keep on going and see what other drivel she has to say.
Saying you should all be terrified, you men, if you put one...
of assaulting.
Well, I think we all understand what sexual
What is
assault
an
is.
assault?
What Isabel's talking about is that young teenage clumsiness
really
in many
hard.
cases, which is now being recategorized as assault. Is that a problem?
It's not being recategorized as assault. It's always been assault. It's just we're finally talking about it.
I don't agree with that.
The term assaulting has been used so loosely nowadays. It's kind of hard to justify a young 15, 16-year-old guy fumbling in the bedroom. It's hard to say that he's assaulting a woman, all right? And then this is the same kind of girl that grows up, and then she's upset that men don't approach her, right? You've seen those videos online. Of course, not all people act like this in public. I'm not saying that they do, but like we've heard of women talk like that. They say, oh, I don't like that men don't approach me. It's kind of hard for some guys to approach when they hear messages like this online saying like I should not ever step out of line. I don't want to lose my life, because it's very likely nowadays. I saw a video of some woman who, like, she's like this obese beluga whale who accused 15 guys of rape, and obviously she never got assaulted, and she only got like a few years in prison, and they all lost their lives basically. Like everything just crumbled because she just said, oh, I feel like this happened. It's kind of hard for a lot of guys to justify wanting to push the boundaries physically if they're afraid of that happening. And that's the kind of terror that she wishes on men. That's absolutely evil, in my opinion. I just love how the guy, like, it pans to the guy's face and he's like, what the hell am I listening to? Like, they really put me next to this chick? Like, she said that it's actually assault. Like, do you guys know, like, what that is? Assault is far from what a awkward teenage encounter looks like, right? That the latter is likely going to be shy. It's probably not going to be that great. They're both going to be messing up, probably not laughing because they're both insecure about themselves. But assault is like something much more violent, much more aggressive, and that's not the case with someone who's in middle school for the most part. Okay, Like, there are people out there like her, and that's completely dangerous. Now, I just brought this to your attention because I want you to be able to spot a kind of person who's gonna like say some garbage like this. But at the same time, I don't want you to create this echo chamber around your brain that makes you think that all women are like this, because that's not the case at all. I'm trying to avoid you from becoming people like Sneeko, like who says that all women are this or that, because that's not the case at all. He just saw videos of women who were being interviewed on TikTok in Las Vegas. No shit. No shit, you have bad perception because you have the worst kind of women in your face at all times. There are plenty of genuine women out there who are not going to let this happen. Now, you should be able to learn how to push the physical boundary just ever so slightly, because that's how intimate relationships progress. If you don't do that, she's not going to do it in most cases. Like, it's the man's job to push it physically, just ever so slightly, small touches here and there, and then you guys can become physically intimate, and then hopefully things work out. They may not always, but hopefully they do. Now, I don't want to make this video too long. I just found what this girl said was interesting, not in a good way, and I hope that she gets the worst, because that's disgusting. This is your Sensei Kenkai. Join my Discord server in the description. I'll catch you in the next video. Deuces.